quickly tell you a bit about one of our guests tonight. Tonight we make welcome a man who has won acclaim for his performance by numerous critics groups, has been nominated for a Golden Globe and an Oscar, starred in a who's list of some of Hollywood's biggest talent, and even starred with a few Aussies, including Mel Gibson, Hugh Jackman, Geoffrey Rush, and in tonight's film, Tony Collette. Please may welcome Kinnear.
It's good training for Rove. I'm doing Rove later tonight, and I notice they have lots of steps they walk in.
They do, up and down, up and down. Now, I just wanted to ask you a couple of questions about the film. This was a fascinating film for people in the industry. If you weren't aware, the film debuted at the Sundance Film Festival in January, is that correct?
Yeah.
And the film just came out of nowhere and just knocked audiences and critics over, and it's just been a success story ever since. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the evolution of the project, how you became involved?
Yeah, this is a movie. This is a very small movie. This was made last summer in Los Angeles in one of the worst heat waves on record, with 6 people stuffed into a 1969 VW van. Be happy it's not in smell-o-vision. But we shot this, and it was a very, very charming and lovely script. And the directors, and I'm sorry they couldn't be here, Jonathan Dayton and Valerie Ferris, our husband and wife team. And they're really remarkable people, and they stayed with this project for about 5 years. And it went in and out of all these different, permutations where it was going to happen, and then it wasn't going to happen, and did what movies sometimes do, but they stayed with it. And it finally got a pulse last year when one of our producers, who's an independently wealthy guy, just wrote a check for $7.5 million to make the movie, which said, yes, that's right. And he's here, right? Come on out here, Mark. But it was really remarkable that he did that, and it really gave life to this, tiny little movie that's been, that's done well. It was a lot of fun to do, obviously.
What was it that attracted you to the script specifically?
I think it's, it's a tragic, in some ways it's a very tragic family story, but it deals with success in our culture and people's need for, in their pursuit of winning, at what costs, and at the same time it deals with family. You don't pick who is sitting at your table, so to speak. These are the cards you're dealt. And in this case, it's a very unusual deck of cards. So it's an unusual family story, and I just responded to the comedy in it, and at the same time there was a tragic element in Richard Hoover, who's a motivational speaker who's having some difficulty, as you'll see momentarily.
It's probably one of the most natural comedies that I've seen in a long time. In fact, for me it was rather reminiscent of Sideways, in a lot of respects. But the characters that you sometimes choose to play are sometimes, for lack of a better term, can be shallow sort of people, like in Autofocus you play a rather reprehensible character in a lot of ways. Tell me, what is it that actually attracts you to playing effectively anti-heroes in a lot of cases?
Well, I like people who are struggling. I like that feels very human to me. People who represent themselves as one thing and maybe have a current of something else playing against that. I think that all of us have a kind of a mask that we put up, and I seem very charming, but I'm a horrible man. And but I mean, there is some truth to that. I think everybody has some sort of representation of who they are, but there's always another very different person at the core of them, and I think that's the case, certainly was with Bob Crane, but with Richard, and maybe everybody in this movie has some element of that. And there's 6 actors in the film, and one of them is Tony Collette, who you should be very proud of. She's a wonderful actress, and I got to work with her twice. I got to work with her in 2 movies, and she's just great. So. But it's her and Alan Arkin and a young actor named Paul Dano, who's really taking off. He doesn't say a lot. And then Steve Carell, who's now a 41-year-old virgin. And then this little amazing girl named Abigail Breslin. So.
It's an outstanding cast. And a lot of Australian people wouldn't be aware of the fact that you actually came from a background in television, is that right?
Yeah, I started in I started on a cable television show back in America and kind of did some different sort of entertainment programs, and just got a very fortunate break years ago. Sidney Pollack was casting Sabrina and obviously was very desperate and brought me in, and I ended up.
And you played Harrison Ford's younger brother.
That's right. Harrison, yes, that's true.
So it's all gone very well from there. Now, just one final question. Have you got a special role that you sort of remember as being the best role that you've played in your own books by your own weight, if you will?
No, not. I mean, honestly, I don't ever watch these very much. It's hard to watch them after you're done with them. I enjoy doing them, and in terms of looking back, I like them all for different reasons and hate them all for different reasons. So, but certainly, but this is one I'm very happy with.
It should be. It's an excellent film. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the film opens on the 12th, if memory serves, and is sneak previews this weekend. So tell your friends if you enjoy it, and remember, if you don't like it, keep it to yourself. But please thank our guest, Greg Kinnear. Thank you very much.